Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a peek outside our weather window. And anybody complaining about today's weather for January 18th, just beautiful out there. Not quite as warm as yesterday's weather, which was also beautiful, but a great start to our week. This shot taken from our Sky-Fi tower camera up on Jump Off Ridge. You can see right in the middle of your shot there, that's Wenatchee Heights where our cross camera is. So this just a little bit wider view of the Wenatchee Valley, but you see lots of sunshine and just some high clouds out there. Light winds today and it was beautiful. And I'll tell you what, it's going to stay like this for most of this week, but by the time we get into Friday and especially the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, our temperatures will cool. We have about a 20% chance for snow Saturday, and that goes way up as we get into Sunday. And I'll talk more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A Moses Lake man will spend 20 years in federal prison and the rest of his life on probation for producing child pornography. The Chelan-Douglas Health District said Friday that they attributed 3 more deaths to COVID-19. That raises the total number of those lost to the virus in the valley to 47. And after having 5 patients test positive for COVID-19, Lake Chelan Community Hospital will temporarily stop admitting new patients and allowing visitors. But first we begin tonight. A 34-year-old suspect was jailed early this morning after police said he fired a single shot from a handgun toward a bystander. That all happened in the 300 block of Fuller Street. Police say Roberto Arellano was caught on surveillance video as he fired from his residence toward another man who was in a nearby parking lot at about 3:09 a.m. Arellano surrendered when Wenatchee police came to his house. He now faces a possible charge of first-degree assault. No one was hurt, and the motivation behind the shooting is still under investigation. Anyone with information about the crime is encouraged to contact the Wenatchee Police Department. A Moses Lake man will spend 20 years in federal prison and the rest of his life on probation for producing child pornography. 47-year-old Juan Rivera conspired with a California woman demanding and receiving explicit images of her 11-year-old child. Police and federal agents arrested Rivera in 2018. The woman in the case was convicted and sentenced in California. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Spokane said Rivera is a citizen of Mexico who's been deported from the United States twice since 2003. The Chelan-Douglas Health District on Friday attributed 3 more deaths to COVID-19. That raises the total number of those lost to the virus now in the Wenatchee Valley to 47. All 3 were male Chelan County residents, one in his 50s, one in his 80s, and one in his 90s. Health officials continue to urge social distancing, hand washing, and the use of facial masks when in public to help prevent the spread of the disease. Well, after having 5 patients test positive for COVID-19, Lake Chelan Community Hospital will now temporarily stop admitting new patients and allowing visitors. The hospital announced on Friday that all the patients that tested positive have been placed in isolation, and any staff members who had contact with those patients are being tested. Lake Chelan Health said the emergency department will remain open, but will be limited to only a person seeking emergency services and possibly a support person. Lake Chelan Health also suspended rehab services, including physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Coming up next, Pybus Public Market will reopen its indoor concourse today for indoor seating at 25% capacity. Former Republican gubernatorial candidate Loren Culp has now withdrawn his lawsuit alleging vote fraud in his loss of the 2020 election to incumbent Governor Jay Inslee. Wenatchee physician Dr. Mabel Bodell and the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center are the winners of this year's Civil Rights and Social Justice Awards. And residents have until February 12th to comment on an environmental assessment for the Upper Wenatchee Pilot Project. We'll tell you more about that. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. we are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today. Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Welcome back. In another news, Pybus Public Market will reopen its indoor concourse on Monday for indoor seating at 25% capacity. In a press release on Friday, Pybus said after Governor Jay Inslee announced his latest phased approach to reopening, Pybus staff met with the Liquor and Cannabis Control Board and determined they met the new requirements to operate as an open-air establishment. Pybus businesses that will reopen today are Fire, Ice, Cafe Columbia, the Cheesemonger Shop, Jones of Washington for wine tasting, and McGregor Farms for mead tasting. Well, former Republican gubernatorial candidate Loren Culp has withdrawn his lawsuit alleging voter fraud in his loss of the 2020 election to incumbent Governor Jay Inslee. Culp's attorney withdrew the suit Friday from King County Superior Court with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. The former Republic police chief won a majority of votes over Inslee in many rural Washington counties, including North Central Washington, but ultimately got only 43% statewide. His lawsuit alleged that duplicate ballots, outdated records, and dead people casting votes contributed to his loss, but he provided no evidence, and Secretary of State Kim Wyman said the election was conducted above board. Wenatchee physician Dr. Mabel Bodell and the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center are the winners of this year's Civil Rights and Social Justice Awards. The honors are given each year by the city of Wenatchee. The museum won its award for its Social Justice series, in which panelists tackled issues such as racism, affordable housing, and health disparities in the pandemic. Bodell, a nephrologist with Confluence Health, spent much of 2020 creating an educational online content to help Wenatchee's Spanish language community prepare for the COVID-19 crisis. Here is Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz presenting Dr. Bodell with her award.
Hi everyone, this is Frank Kuntz, Mayor of the City of Wenatchee, and I'm here to present Dr. Mabel Bodell with the Civil Rights and Social Justice Award for 2020 for her incredible work with our Spanish-speaking citizens with respect to working on COVID-19 and making sure we all wear our masks and social distance and wash our hands, and how important that is for all of our community. She did some incredible YouTube videos that we've all seen, and so we just appreciate her work in the community. So we congratulate her for all of her fine things. So Dr. Bodell, thank you very much.
I'm very honored to be recognized by the City of Wenatchee. As I always said several times, so I'm just one small piece on a big network of amazing grassroots organizations working together to bring social justice, and in my case, health equity to our valley. So our community will succeed if we continue to work together. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Residents have until February 12th to comment on an environmental assessment for the Upper Wenatchee Pilot Project. That's a wildland restoration program that would use prescribed burning on 74,000 acres of public land north of Leavenworth. The project aims to reduce wildfire risks in the future, and there will be a 5 p.m. virtual meeting on Wednesday to share information. Wenatchee River District Ranger Jeff Rivera discussed the program with Cascadia Conservation District.
About 2017, the North Central Washington Forest Health Collaborative, they were successful in obtaining additional funding from the Washington Office of the Forest Service to be used for the same purposes as our initial project. Partnering with them, we kind of expanded our initial project area to 4 6-code watersheds: the Lower Chihuahua, Big Meadow, Lake Wenatchee, and Beaver Creek watersheds.
You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
The 2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
By working together as a community, we can all play a part in promoting children's well-being and strengthening families. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. CASA and Together for Youth are dedicated to supporting families and reducing the risk of child abuse and neglect. Join us in keeping kids safe. If you suspect a child is being abused or neglected, please call 1-866-363-4276.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The people who keep you safe when skiing at Central Washington's biggest snow resort want better working conditions. Stevens Pass Mountain Resort hasn't struck a contract with its patrol workers since they unionized almost 2 years ago, and on Saturday, the patrollers turned to the public for support. NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins tells us more.
15 people may not seem like a lot for a picket line, but these folks represent about 50 ski patrollers who work the slopes at Stevens Pass Resort. On Saturday, the Stevens Pass Professional Patrol Association set up this informational picket at one of the busiest crosswalks in downtown Leavenworth. Their message? Ask Stevens Pass management to certify a contract with the patrol union, and pronto.
We're asking for protections for some of our safety measures that have been put in place at Stevens, better working conditions and wages, as well as more opportunities for training and continued professional development. We think that not only do those provide a better patrol to keep our skiing public safe, but we also think that that increases retention.
Vail Resorts of Colorado bought Stevens in June 2018 for $67 million. Ski patrollers there unionized in April 2019 and started negotiations for their first contract that September. But they say progress on those talks has been stalled for months.
You know, sometimes they just flat out reject proposals that we seem pretty reasonable, but they seem not even wanting to have conversations about. They just did a no-show on one of our negotiating dates the other day, so we actually have an unfair labor practice suit out against them for that. We requested a mediator to kind of help us because we understand, you know, they have their goals and we have our goals, and they've rejected that idea twice.
Vail Resorts, which also owns major ski areas like Park City and Crested Butte in Colorado, did not respond to an email request for comment. Patrollers spend an average day making sure skiers are safe on their slopes. That involves rescuing folks who are in trouble or injured, as well as clearing dangerous conditions, like setting off explosives for avalanche control. They're even tasked with pulling people off ski lifts if they get stuck there. Ski patrollers say they earn a top wage of about $25 an hour at Stevens, but start out near minimum wage. Warren, at 7 years, earns just under $17, and she says the upper end of salaries has not expanded as Washington's minimum wage has risen. Patrollers also want more training time away from the mountain in specialized clinics for people involved in their profession. When Vail took over at Stevens, ski patrollers saw a small boost in pay and some new benefits. But other perks, like free physical therapy sessions for ski workers, went away.
So I think that that's an issue, you know, as they kind of eroded away some of these perks. We lost a lot of experienced patrollers.
And patrollers on avalanche control now have to use the same radio channel as other resort operations, leading to fears about safety.
I know it's something our supervisors have pushed back against and haven't gotten anything. And I'm, as a route leader, very upset about that because I want to only hear about avalanche control on a morning when I'm out with explosives and doing avalanche control. And if anything were to happen, it would be, we need those free lines of communication.
The same day Stevens Pass patrollers held their picket, their fellow union members at Park City Mountain Resort were holding a picket of their own. That patrol team reached a 2-year contract agreement with Vail in 2019, but it lapsed back in November. Jefferson Robbins, NCWLIFE.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great weekend and happy Martin Luther King Day today. Beautiful day if you were lucky enough to have the day off today. Lots of blue skies as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley. This is from our Jump Off Ridge Sky-Fi Tower camera provided by Localtel, and a just beautiful video of the Wenatchee Valley. Right here is Wenatchee Heights in our cross camera. Right about there. We use that quite a bit for the news as well. But all in all, an above normal temperature day once again in January. And boy, we've been a broken record there, haven't we? 42, our unofficial high temperature today. 45 yesterday. It was a beautiful one. But look at that. 35 is our normal high for this time of year. This morning we were at 27, just a few degrees above where we should be at 25. Record high, that was 6 years ago in 2015 at 53 degrees. Record low, 5 degrees, and that was in 1984. Sunrise 7:41 this morning, and the sun set for us this afternoon at 4:42. Let's take a look at how your Tuesday shapes up, and we're not going to change a lot of our weather forecast from today right through Thursday. We will see partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies tomorrow, slightly cooler than today's temperatures, 40 to lower 40s in the Columbia Basin, and then upper 30s back towards the Wenatchee Valley. Leavenworth 37 tomorrow, and Lake Chelan a high temperature of 38. Surface loop time, and there's not a lot to show you until we get to the end of the forecast. Patchy fog may develop later on tonight, so keep that in mind if you're traveling around. Otherwise, partly cloudy overnight. Still a ridge of high pressure up and over the Pacific Northwest, and that's providing this beautiful weather. For Tuesday, partly cloudy, just slightly cooler. We may see some low-hanging low clouds. The temperatures pretty much as I just showed you, middle 30s to upper 30s in the Wenatchee Valley, about 40 for the Columbia Basin. Midweek Wednesday, partly cloudy. Look at the clear skies and mild high pressure extending all the way up into British Columbia, and that'll make for a beautiful day with high temperatures once again upper 30s to near 40. Thursday, we start to see a few clouds work in. Here's another area of high pressure, and low pressure is trying to sneak up along the coast, but Thursday still just mostly cloudy. It'll still remain mild. Friday, I think this will be our last above normal temperature day. We'll see mostly sunny skies throughout the day on Friday, but there is just a little area of low pressure that's going to slide right up here on Vancouver Island, and that could bring us a little bit of that snow as we get into Saturday and especially into Sunday. So here's the next glob of snow and moisture that will move in, and that'll be overnight on Saturday with a 20% chance of the white stuff, and that's a little bit closer as we get into the overnight hours. But by Sunday, cloudy skies, and we'll see a 50% chance for snow. It will be cooler too. As you can see, our air now coming down from the northwest. That'll bring some cooler air in, and our best chance for snow will be on Sunday that we've seen for a long, long time. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight will drop down a lot like tonight at about 27 degrees. A little cooler tomorrow at 39, 40 for Wednesday, and then mid to upper 30s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even lower to mid 30s as we get all the way to Sunday. That'll be a good chance for snow with high temperatures then of 34 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kerry Condata. This is the 12th District TV show, aired 8 times every week on NCWLIFE TV. We cover business and politics like no one else does it because I've been there and done it. 30 years self-employed, 16 years in the House of Representatives, and 12 years running campaigns across the state of Washington. That resume means you're getting information you can't get anywhere else. This is the 12th District. I'm Kerry Condata.
It's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. The Final Four are set in the NFL playoffs after the divisional round over the weekend. Aaron Rodgers threw for 296 yards and 2 touchdowns and ran for another, while Aaron Jones rushed for 99 yards and a score as Green Bay beat the LA Rams 32-18. The game was played in front of 8,456 fans at Lambeau Field. Afterwards, Rodgers said it sounded more like 50,000 were in the stands when the Packers ran out of the tunnel. Buffalo's defense rose to the occasion Saturday as the Bills knocked off Baltimore 17-3. Taron Johnson returned an interception 101 yards for a touchdown in the third quarter to propel Buffalo back to the AFC title game for the first time in 27 years. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson was sacked 3 times and missed the fourth quarter after sustaining a concussion on the final play of the third quarter. Patrick Mahomes went down in the third quarter with a concussion Sunday, but Kansas City hung on for a 22-17 win over Cleveland. The Chiefs' defense forced the Browns to punt with 4:23 left, and 35-year-old backup quarterback Chad Henne helped seal the victory. Henne scrambled for 13 yards on a 3rd and 14 and then hit Tyreek Hill on a 4th and 1 to allow KC to run out the clock. Chiefs become the first team in history to host 3 consecutive AFC championships. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers offense turned 3 of 4 New Orleans turnovers into touchdowns. Tampa Bay beat the Saints 30-20 last night. It may have been the final game in Drew Brees' career and one he'd probably like to forget. The 42-year-old was 19 for 35 for 134 yards and 3 interceptions to go with 1 touchdown. Brady, meanwhile, finished 18 of 33 for 199 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air and 1 running. So here's where we have the Final Four. The conference championships are set for this coming Sunday as Tampa Bay will play at Green Bay for the George Halas Trophy at 12:05 on Fox. The AFC title game will feature Buffalo and Kansas City for the Lamar Hunt Trophy. That game kicks off at 3:40 Sunday afternoon on CBS. Well, checking the Les Schwab College basketball scoreboard from the weekend, Corey Kispert led 4 players in double figures as Gonzaga powered past St. Mary's 73-59. Joel Ayayi chipped in 16, while Drew Timme and Jalen Suggs each had 14 to keep the #1 Bulldogs record perfect at 14-0. Washington blew a 10-point halftime lead and fell to UCLA 81-76 Saturday. Kade Green led the Huskies with 25 points as Washington fell to 1-11 on the season. 0-7 in Pac-12 play. Isaac Bonton scored 27 points, but Washington State couldn't keep pace with USC, falling to the Trojans 85-77 Saturday night. Cougars committed 15 turnovers as they saw their Pac-12 record fall to 2-4. Shifting to the women's college scoreboard, Haley Van Lith scored 15 points to help Louisville to an 84-56 blowout win over Florida State. The #2 Cardinals will most likely take over the #1 ranking after unranked Colorado knocked off top-ranked Stanford in overtime Sunday 77-72. Washington State took UCLA into OT Sunday but fell to the Bruins 68-66. Charlize Ledger-Walker led WSU with 18 points as the #25 Cougars nearly knocked off the 8th-ranked Bruins. Coach Cammie Etheridge says she just needs to get her team and their heads to wrap around the fact that they deserve to play with these ranked opponents in the upper echelon teams.
Well, it's never fun to come this close and lose. Again, we've had a lot of these. We dig ourselves a little bit of a hole. We don't quite believe, I think, yet that we're as good as the guys we're playing. I was a little bit disappointed, and I thought we gave them too much credit in the first half, and we thought we were going to be guarded so hard that we just panicked and didn't even try to run some of our stuff. And that's probably me preparing our kids for things, but I just didn't think we responded very well, obviously, offensively, when you only score 20 points in a half. But I continue just to be amazed at this team's resiliency and fight and competitiveness and playmaking ability to keep the game close and defend at such a high level. And even when we're not our best yet offensively, we're still, staying in games because we're just guarding really well. So it's a great team, UCLA. They do a lot of awesome things. They just have big time players that made some huge plays toward the end of the game and overtime. And it's an exciting basketball game. It's good to be a part of it.
And back to the scoreboard on Saturday, Kaylee Truong scored 17 points to lead a balanced Gonzaga attack as the number 20 Bulldogs beat San Francisco Saturday 76-52. Gonzaga women remain unbeaten in West Coast Conference play at 7-0. They're 12-2 on the season. There were only 2 games on the ice on the NHL slate Sunday. As we check the Les Schwab scoreboard there, Pittsburgh earned its first win of the young season with a 4-3 shootout win over Washington. After a scoreless first period, Florida scored 2 in the second and added 3 more in the third to outpace Chicago 5-2. NHL schedule got underway with a morning game earlier today. In Detroit, where the Red Wings hosted Columbus. Visitors came out on top of that one 3-2. Also today, Boston skating at New York, Winnipeg at Toronto, Philadelphia hosts Buffalo, San Jose skates at St. Louis, Nashville entertains Carolina, Minnesota tries to remain unbeaten at Anaheim, Calgary welcomes Vancouver, Montreal travels to Edmonton, and Las Vegas hosts Phoenix. Finally, as the Seahawks search for a new offensive coordinator to replace Brian Schottenheimer, their franchise quarterback isn't shy about his opinion on the matter. Russell Wilson says he hopes to help find the team's OC. The question, was he in favor of Schottenheimer being let go?
Yeah, no. If you ask me, I'm in favor of it. No, I mean, I think that. I guess how do I answer this here? I think that, I think that it wasn't my, it wasn't my decision to change Shotty. In other words, but I think that Coach Carroll made that decision. I think that. I trust his decision. But at the same time, obviously Shotty and I have been so close. I think he's going to be a tremendous coach. So like I said, somewhere else. But what I am in favor of is our football team getting better. If you ask me, I think what's really important is us winning championship. That's what I'm in favor of. And I think what's really critical is that whatever decision, whether if it's the offensive coordinator to the guys that we sign or draft or to the every decision, throughout the season, this offseason, everything else is the philosophy, the win. The most important thing is that it's about this winning process and doing everything that we can to make sure we do that.
Names that have emerged as a possible replacement for Schottenheimer include former Eagles head coach Doug Peterson, former Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn, Chargers offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton, and Seahawks passing game coordinator Dave Canales. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Congratulations to the Bills. Back to you, Grant.
Thank you very much. I'm excited, that's for sure. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Join me for a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have your latest weather forecast. As Grant already mentioned, looks pretty good before it starts getting a little on the cold side. But we'll do your weather forecast. We'll have all of your news. We'll have the latest in the ever-widening world of sports, plus the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays, and Mike Magnotti will have an opinion because everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. We invite you to start your day live and local with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. right here. I expect to see you on the other side of this camera. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
Hi, my name is Blaine Johnson. I'm at Global Elite Motors. We're tied in with Global Car Care down here locally. So we're not your typical car buying experience. Somebody can come down here, take a look at what we have, and if we have the right vehicle for you, we'd be glad to help you out with it. A lot of times we are able to go out and find specific vehicles for somebody so that it fits their needs, their budget, and all the things that you want without you being obligated right away. If you're looking for a good, reliable car, come see me, Blaine Johnson, down at Global Elite Motors.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.